Hi everyone, Armored Pants here. I have another review for you in the Russian line. This is the Tier 10 Medium DT62A and what a tank it is. If you want to contact me directly for any specific questions, the best way to do it is on my Facebook page at WOTB Gameplay, at World of Tank Blitz Gameplay. And if you message me there, I usually answer very quickly. Now, let's have a look at the tech spec, and as always, we will use blitzhanger.com. And actually, I'm quite looking forward to this review because this is a great medium tank, really great. One of the best in Tier 10. We'll discuss the Object 140 a bit later on as well, because there's a debate which you should get, which is better, etc. Now, it has a 100mm gun. It does lack a bit of pen, therefore you need to have heat loaded up. And because you are up at Tier 10, you're fighting the biggest armoured beasts in Blitz, so therefore you need to use heat. But the rate of fire compensates for heat usage because the rate of fire is really fast. You have a 5.18 second reload. Now, the muzzle velocity in this tank is amazing. When you use supercharge, it's almost 2,000 meters per second, 1996 meters per second, which means long range sniping is an excellent tool with this tank. Now, the rate of fire is phenomenal. As I said, it's less than 5.2 second reload. And with that muzzle velocity, you're going to get some pen, especially over distance, so it's really good. Up against, as we said, up against heavily armoured tanks, so you're going to need to use that heat, but there's no shame in that, and the rate of fire compensates for it more than adequately. This tank has excellent traverse speed, really good traverse speed, and you will see that it has almost 59 degrees of traverse, which is amazing. If we look at the armour profile, it has good frontal armour as well. It is very good turret armour too. Look at those relative armour numbers, they are amazing. Also, you see the relative R numbers on the side, very good. So you're going to bounce some shells in this, and if you wiggle and jiggle that front, or you go hold down, you are going to be difficult to pen. Obviously on the sides and the back, as we see here, it is of course much more easy to pen. You have very little armour. Now, tracks are exposed, so therefore I would run 2 repair kits. Why? Well, firstly, you don't need engine accelerator, it's fast enough as it is, and secondly, you're up with the big boys, Death Stars, Yagaroos, Grills. You really don't want to be stuck out in the open of this thing when you get tracked. You want to be able to repair and move on. Now, this is a medium tank in every essence of that genre, and therefore you can play it as medium tank, play by numbers, as we discussed in the medium tank review we have here. You're effectively the game's CPU, to process information as the game goes on and move accordingly. Use your agility to adapt during the game, process the information. Initially, your job is to scout, spot and cap if possible, but then you assess and reassess, arm, assess, reassess, move. Simple to remember, and that should be your golden let's say rule when you're playing a medium tank. That is how it should be done. Now we are going to check the setup here, and I decided by looking at the setup that I am going to use the speed of the tank. It does 50 kilometers an hour to go to A. Going to put on the afterburners, get there as fast as possible. Not necessarily to cap, but I want to spot and scout up. And here we go, first job done as a medium tank. What you should be doing, I've scouted up and I've spotted up A. So we know that the 2 red mediums are now at A trying to go there. That's been signaled now to my team, and my team can move accordingly. So Batchat moves up, he decides to go into cover here, and now we are going to engage in both of these reds here at A. They're capturing A right now, so the Batchat decides to move up and to engage, and then I will move up and support him. And really at this point, this is really a cat and mouse game. Here you don't really want to be the one who is going to be first to move. The Batchat moves first, but I'm going to then move and support him. And of course we are presenting 2 targets to the E50, which makes it more difficult for him to put his armour to the front and to engage us, and therefore he's then outnumbered 3-1, and the poor guy hasn't got a chance. And now we are going to cap, and E100 was coming anyway, so as if his day wasn't bad enough already. Now we will cap, and then we will move on. So that's a great job done by me and my team. Flank cleared, base capped, job done. Good medium tank, solid basic medium tank play, nothing spectacular. Going and spotting, and then clearing off the reds, and then capping. Now we're going to use ambush tactics, so I'm going around behind where I believe the enemy is, This is a typical medium tank, and medium tanks, along with light tanks, should be using ambush tactics. You should be coming up on the side and the back of your targets of the Reds, not engaging them front on. If you're engaging tanks front on, particularly like this object here, you are doing something wrong, and it will end badly for you. So you should be engaging targets like this from the sides and the back, which is why I went in cover into this rear position at red spawn to come up behind and to the sides of the enemy rather than front on. And you see the reward there is being able to put rounds into the back of the enemy tanks rather than trying to put them in front on. Now this is Supremacy, and I am doing ARM again, assess, reassess and move. And as it's Supremacy and we are one base down, I decided the best thing for me to do as a medium tank in this position is to cap B. And now we have 2 bases capped, it's 2 each, as opposed to being a base down. So using my brain, assessing information as the game goes on, making decisions accordingly. Now I'm up behind and to the side of the enemy, and that is exactly where you want to be in a medium tank. And I'm going to use my agility to push into the corner here, so I'm not giving him a shot. I'm going to try to push by him, put one last round into him, and then my allies take him out. And again, using the speed, agility, and relying on the fast reload of this tank to take out a big gun. Now we're going to move up here, and again we're coming up behind the enemy, and this is exactly where you should be in this tank. And this is perfect medium tank play. I have not been front on, except at the start when we were going to cap, I have not been front on to any of the Reds during the game, and that's exactly what you should be doing in a medium tank. And you saw there the strength of this tank, its ability to get around the map quickly. It's a good brawler, that using that rate of fire to clear off Reds, then flanking, firstly capping, then flanking, then capping again, and then flanking again, double flank onto 3 different Reds there, putting damage into the Reds from behind. Almost 3.7k of damage. It's a really good, solid play. I've done far more damage in this tank. I didn't get a mastery badge but then, as we always say, mastery badges are delivered on XP, and the XP for spotting, capping, and as well as the damage and the kills. And you saw how effective the rate of fire is in this tank too. And you know, it really is a great brawler. That armor will allow you to brawl, especially with other medium tanks if required. And the rate of fire really is one of the best in its tier, and it has armor too. It has that speed, agility. It's a low profile target, so all around this is a really competitive, strong, tough brawler and competitor in this game. Now let's recap. This is an excellent medium tank. It's the best in tier. What people would say maybe the object is, but certainly along with that probably the best the two are. It's a really tough competitor. It's an excellent brawler. And you know, you really will do well in brawls with this tank. Low profile, decent armor. You remember the relative armor numbers that we looked at are really good in this tank. It's mobile, agile, has great traverse speed. Struggles a little bit on soft terrain, so if you're in water, just be careful about that. But overall, on hard and medium terrain, it's really good. 100mm gun, does lack a bit of pen, so therefore I use heat, but that's what it's for. And you've got such a great rate of fire that you can more than compensate for the slight loss of damage per shell with heat. Because you've got a 5.2 second reload, which basically means you can pump out rounds in this thing. If you drop adrenaline, it's even better, you know. And of course, you know, we need to remember what we've discussed many times on the channel about actual versus theoretical DPM. You know, actual DPM goes up when you use heat against heavily armored tanks because you pen more. This is a medium tank that can be played by the numbers PBN, and you saw there that was exactly a game of just playing a medium tank by the numbers. And this is one of 2 brilliant tier 10 medium tanks. And which one would you prefer? Well, and that's an excellent question, but let me try to answer it simply for you. If you came up and played the T54 lightweight, then you'll probably prefer the Object 140 a bit. If you came up playing the T44, T54, then you'll probably prefer the T62A a little bit. And that's it. So I guess all that remains for me to say is thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful, and pants off.